Hey y'all, I'm Elisa, the Scrappy Wife behind ScrappyWife.com, and I have 5 organization hacks that you need to try in your craft room. All right, so today I want to take you around and share with you 5 hacks, tips, tricks, 5 things that have helped me out in my craft studio. Some I've been doing forever, some are relatively new to me, but they've all made a difference in how my studio is organized and how my creativity is able to flow. So I'm going to bring you guys around, share with you the 5 tips. We're going to count backwards from 5 to 1. And as always, I will link everything that I show you down in the description box below. You can check those out if you're interested in giving them a try. And if you do try any of these hacks, or you have your own little tips and tricks to share for organization, please feel free to share those in the comments below. I love learning from all of you guys as well. All right, let's go. Now, my first tip might be obvious, but this is one that I have just started in the last month. This is my catch-all tray. So I just started having a catch-all tray. You can see it kind of blends in with my desk, which I very much enjoy. But this is kind of a catch-all bin for things that I'm currently using in a project right at that moment, or things that I grab for all of the time. I used to always have these pieces inside my desk, inside the desk drawers, or just around me. I could always get to them easily, but I love having a place where I can just throw things really easily as I'm cleaning up, the ones that I know I'm going to pull out again for the next project. I appreciate the fact that it's a tray. When it starts going up and getting bigger, then it's taking up more visual space. Not my favorite. And I think it's so easy to overfill some of those like catch-all bins that you can have on your desk. This one works out really well for me. I picked it up from Home Goods. It's just like a jewelry tray. I think it was designed for the bathroom, but I will try to link something similar below. This has worked so well for me. It keeps my space clear, and as I am working on a project, I know where to find stuff. So often I will lose my scissors or the Tombow tape. Like I will lose something, especially these tweezers. These used to get lost, and then I would find them and poke myself as I was trying to find them. But it's just so nice to know that I can just reach over. I keep it to my right because I'm right-handed, so that's the place I'm most likely to grab for it. And I just know the things I'm going to need are right there. So I very much enjoy this hack. It's made a difference in my workflow, and it saved me time because I'm not losing little bits and pieces as I'm working on a project. The next hack that I want to share with you is one of my favorite tools that I use to organize all kinds of things in my craft studio, but you don't find it in like a home office organization area. And that would be this. This is a pot lid holder. It is meant for your kitchen to organize all of those pot lids, but I have used these in my craft room forever to organize all kinds of stuff. So currently I have a whole set of them. They are organizing all of my vertical paper. I can find my 12 by 12 paper really easily. I happen to love these plastic envelopes as well. But it keeps my paper organized, keeps it to where I can pull out one and the rest don't move. It makes it very easy. In the past, I've used these to organize planners where I line them up. A lot of people use them to organize some of their tools, their large flat tools like scoring boards and cutters. You can have this and just slide the tools in and out, so you're not having to stack things. When things are stacked on top of each other, it can be hard to get things from underneath. It's kind of like a roadblock in your creative process. And so I really enjoy being able to pull out things easily. And so storing things in a vertical fashion, whether it's tools, paper, planners, any of that can really help keep you organized. Next up is a newer to me hack, and that has to do with my Cricut cutting machines. I don't have my Cricut machines out all of the time. I move them as needed. And so recently I discovered wheels for your Cricut machine. So I can very easily roll this around on the countertop. It doesn't jostle the machine, so it doesn't kind of mess up things. I don't have to recalibrate as much as I used to have to. These awesome wheels just adhere to the bottom of your machine. I use them on both of my Cricut makers, and it just makes them really easy to move in and out as needed, depending on what I'm cutting and how I'm cutting. If I need a little bit more space, sometimes you just have to slide the machines around to make room behind the machines. This works really well because otherwise I would have to keep mine kind of out here all of the time, and I would lose this work surface for when I'm not using my Cricut machines. So having the wheels on it has made a huge difference, and it's just so much easier. It's not scratching up my countertop by dragging them. I know it's a little thing. It wasn't too bad to just pick up the machine, but it jostled it every time I did that. And now it just moves really easily. And so I don't have to worry about recalibrating, which saves time when I'm crafting. These wheels I just purchased from Amazon. They are fantastic. You can get them in different sets, like a pack of 8 or 12, or kind of goes up from there. So depending on the machines that you use them for, you can add them in. I am loving this hack. Again, that is one that's newer to me, but it really has made a difference in how my space has functioned. I have always found that stencils can be a difficult thing to organize in any craft space because they vary so much in size, in shape. You need them to not get bent. You need to be able to see them. There's so many things that stencils like cause some trouble for us crafters that are trying to organize them. And I've tried it all. I've kept them in drawers. I've done binders. I've had protective sheets. I've done all of the different things. And what has worked best for me is this hack right here. These are actually towel bars. I picked them up from IKEA with some hooks, and all of my stencils hang on the bars. This works out in a few different ways. First of all, they don't get messed up. They're hanging, they're open, they're not gonna get bent because they have room here to kind of breathe. This allows me to see them really easily. My smaller stencils I put on a ring so I can pull them out, flip through pretty easily, and then hang right back up. It just reminds me to use the tool, and it reminds me to kind of flip through and look. I like the visualness of this. And then one of the big perks of hanging your stencils on the wall, you're taking use of your vertical space, which always ends up opening up more space throughout your craft room. But these are able to drip dry. How often do we use a stencil? We got to wash it off, then it's wet. You can't really just lay it flat somewhere to dry because then everything is wet. I take these, I'm able to just hang them up even when they're a little bit damp after getting cleaned, and then they drip dry. It's perfect. It works out so well, and it just saves me time in the cleaning up process, which again, that's the more time we have to create and the less time we have to spend cleaning up, the better. These towel bars I purchased from IKEA. I'll try to find something similar. The hooks also came from IKEA. And the other thing is I can continue to expand this system as I need. You just pick up more hooks. I can organize in different ways. I can flow through these, and switch up how things, it has been a huge huge craft change for me. And I have loved it. I've been hanging my stencils probably for a couple years now. I had it in my old studio, and I immediately knew I wanted to hang stencils in this studio as well. So that is my number 2 craft hack. All right, so my number 1 craft room hack that I get asked questions about all of the time is my pegboard. I love a pegboard in a craft room. It is just one of the most functional pieces that you can have because you can change it all of the time. My pegboard was actually the first piece that I created for my old craft studio when I was going to have a craft place of my own again, because I think it's just so beautiful and impactful, and it just serves as a really, really, really effective storage piece. I happen to choose to store beautiful, colorful supplies. I love doing my Nuvo drops. I have my colored pencils. All of these pieces that I have up here, all of these shelves were just created with extra pieces of wood that we had in my garage. So you can actually buy all kinds of hooks and accessories that work in your or with your pegboard. You can buy them at a home improvement store. You can pick them up from Amazon. I started with just kind of a multi-pack that had several different things in it, and then just added on from there as needed. I get questions a lot about my shelves. So this little shelf is actually from IKEA. It is a spice rack. It is hung up with some screws that go in through the pegboard, and then I hang that up. But everything else, all of these other shelves, those are just accessories that I picked up in that multi-pack. And then we had some extra wood laying around in the garage and we cut it down to size. It's white, it works. The tiered shelves in the back, let me see if I can give you a little sneak over here. This is actually just wood stacked on top of each other. So it gives you that wonderful tiered look, but I'm able to customize it to the sizes that I need in my particular space. If I were going to suggest one thing to pick up for your craft room, it would be a pegboard. Again, I created this custom pegboard with my husband. It's just kind of the standard sheet of pegboard that you can pick up from a home improvement store. I did some decoupaging. We used some old fence posts around the edges just to create a kind of a rustic feel. You can pick up pegboards from IKEA. You can do kind of whatever you want, and that's why I think it makes a huge impact in your craft room, because it is visually beautiful and such a great organization tool, because you can organize so many things and it takes advantage of any vertical space that you have, which is absolutely fantastic and a must-have when you're trying to really maximize all of the storage that you have in your craft area. All right, those are my top 5 organization hacks for my craft studio that have made a really big difference in how I create and how I organize all of my materials. Let me know down in the comments below, have you given any of these a try? Are you interested in giving them a try? What hacks work for you that might help the rest of us? I think it's kind of a long-term process to get your space organized, but it can really, really be worth it in the end. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Consider hitting that subscribe button as well as the bell notification button. I want to give a huge shout out to all of my Patreon members. Thank you all so much for the amazing, fun, crazy community that we have over there. It's just a great group of creatives. If you want to try out Patreon and see what there is over there, you can always find the link for my Patreon down in the description box below. All right, I hope that you have a fabulous day. And as always, keep it creative.